Jaguar Wright has made it clear that she is no longer interested in staying quiet or being polite about what she believes is really going on. During a recent livestream, she spoke openly about the relationship between Claressa Shields and Papoose, and her words immediately set social media on fire. According to Jaguar, what people are calling a love story may actually be a carefully managed business arrangement. She didn't hint at it softly. She said it directly. In her view, this is not romance, it is strategy. For years, fans admired Papoose and Remy Ma as one of hip-hop's strongest couples. Their story was powerful. Papoose stood by Remy Ma while she served prison time. He spoke publicly about loyalty and commitment. They appeared on reality shows, gave interviews, and built a public image centered around devotion and black love. To many supporters, they represented stability in an industry often filled with cheating scandals and public breakups. Their brand was built on togetherness, and that image brought opportunities, television appearances, sponsorships, and public admiration. When cracks began to show in their marriage, people were shocked. Rumors of tension started spreading online. Battle rap lyrics and subtle comments fueled speculation. Eventually, the image of the perfect couple began to fade. Some people accepted it as a normal breakup. Relationships end. Life moves on. But Jaguar Wright presented a very different interpretation. In her live stream, she suggested that what happened was not simply a breakup followed by a new relationship. Instead, she claimed the brand that once centered on Remy Ma was quietly shifted to Claressa Shields. She argued that the loyal husband image did not disappear. It was reassigned. In her opinion, the framework stayed the same, but the woman beside him changed. After that live stream, the internet went into investigation mode. Clips were reposted everywhere. People began analyzing interviews of Papoose with both Remy Ma and Claressa Shields. Viewers compared his body language, his tone, and even the way he spoke about career plans. Some claimed he often answered questions for Claressa before she could respond. Others pointed out how frequently he appeared positioned slightly in front of her during interviews. Were these signs of control or simply protective behavior? Opinions were split. Fans also noticed how carefully packaged Claressa and Papoose's public appearances seemed. Matching outfits, coordinated interviews, supportive captions on social media. To some, it looked sweet and romantic. To others, it felt structured and intentional, like a rollout campaign. Jaguar went even further. She described Papoose as a handler, suggesting that he manages more than just emotional support. In her telling, a handler controls schedules, business calls, publicity, and messaging. If someone controls those areas, she argued, they also shape how the world sees you. That is a serious accusation. There is no concrete proof of that claim, but the idea itself tapped into a real fear many people have about fame, that athletes and entertainers can be steered by those around them. Boxing, after all, is not a gentle sport. Claressa Shields has taken real physical punishment in the ring. Jaguar raised concerns about the long-term effects of repeated head trauma. She implied that as fighters age and endure more damage, they may rely more heavily on those managing their careers. Again, this is speculation, but it struck a nerve because the risks of combat sports are well documented. The fear of exploitation is something fans have seen before in sports history. At the same time, Remy Ma's position in all this cannot be ignored. In Jaguar's version of events, Remy was not just a former wife. She was part of building a powerful image that later continued without her. Remy Ma has always been outspoken and confident. She is not someone easily silenced. Some believe that independence made her difficult to manage in a strictly business sense. Others argue that framing her as replaced is unfair and dismissive of her own success and agency. Meanwhile, Claressa Shields faces a different kind of pressure. She is not just a celebrity girlfriend. She is a decorated athlete who fought her way out of poverty and built a historic career in a male-dominated sport. Many young girls look up to her. Being labeled a plant or a prop online can feel deeply disrespectful to someone who earned her titles through hard work and sacrifice. And then there is Papoose himself. Supporters say he has always presented himself as loyal and supportive. They argue that no one truly knows what happens inside a marriage. Critics, however, question whether he benefits from attaching himself to strong women with powerful brands. The central question people keep asking is simple but heavy. Is he loving these women, or leveraging their influence? Beyond all the gossip, there are real human beings at the center of this storm. Social media often turns complex relationships into entertainment. Strangers debate motives and intentions without knowing the full story. Brands, narratives, and speculation can easily overshadow feelings, history, and personal growth. Jaguar Wright's comments force people to look at this situation differently. Whether she is correct or not remains unproven. What is clear is that her words exposed how tightly love and business can intertwine in the entertainment world. When relationships become part of a public brand, every change feels like a strategy instead of a personal decision. In the end, none of us can see behind closed doors. What we see are interviews, photos, and headlines. The truth, as always, is likely more complicated than any live stream or viral thread can capture. The silence around this situation is what many people find most troubling. When the image of Black love began to crack, there was no loud public defense of the woman who helped build that image. There were no major campaigns reminding the world of her loyalty or her contribution. Instead, there was a quiet shift. The spotlight moved. The story changed. And according to Jaguar Wright, that silence says more than any statement ever could. She argues that when powerful people stay quiet, history can be rewritten in real time. If no one speaks up, the narrative slowly adjusts. The person who once stood at the center of a celebrated love story can suddenly look like the problem. The new chapter begins, and the old one fades without explanation. Over time, people forget how things started. When you step back, this stops looking like simple celebrity gossip. It begins to feel like a warning, not just for famous couples, but for anyone whose relationship, talent, or body generates income for others. We have seen similar situations before. Different faces, same pattern. A strong public couple, professional photo shoots, coordinated outfits, emotional interviews, brand deals timed perfectly after viral moments. Feels familiar because it keeps happening. Online, many people are comparing the rollout of Papoose and Claressa shields to other high-profile pairings. They see a recurring structure. One partner positioned as the star attraction, the other as the manager or overseer. Social media users are bringing up past examples of athletes and entertainers who trusted someone else to handle contracts and finances, only to later discover they had little control over their own money. Some ended up broke. Others found themselves trapped in agreements they barely understood. Of course, it is not fair to assume every couple follows the same script. But the imbalance people are noticing is hard to ignore. The phrases sound supportive at first. "Don't worry, I'll take care of it. Just focus on your craft." Years pass, and suddenly the person who was protected realizes they never saw the paperwork, never reviewed the statements, never truly owned what they believed was theirs. That fear is what made Jaguar's words resonate. On platforms like TikTok and Twitter, users are connecting her comments to interviews where former athletes admit they lost their fortunes. Musicians have shared stories about signing contracts at 19 without fully understanding the consequences. Actors have spoken about relationships that boosted their visibility, but damaged their lives behind the scenes. These stories are not identical, but they share a theme: control and dependency. Meanwhile, fans are rewatching old footage of Remy Ma and Papoose, trying to pinpoint when things changed. Some claim they can see a shift in energy during certain public appearances. They highlight moments when rumors first surfaced, then map out when Claressa and Papoose were first seen together. They analyze interviews, noticing how the familiar Black love aesthetic appears again, this time framed around boxing instead of hip-hop. It may be overanalysis, but people are paying attention because it feels bigger than one relationship. Some online commentators suggest that Claressa Shields represents a more marketable version of success. Olympic medals, inspirational backstory, athletic dominance. Pair that with a man already associated with loyalty, and the package becomes easy to promote to sponsors and networks. It is not about comparing one woman to another. It is about how corporate decisions can reduce real people to neat formulas. If you follow Jaguar's perspective, those decisions were not abstract. They involved real lives. That is what makes the conversation uncomfortable. Modern Black love is often celebrated online, but it is also packaged and sold. When intimacy becomes a product, it is treated like inventory. If one part of the couple no longer fits the image, the brand may shift. Jaguar's strongest warning is not simply that someone is evil or manipulative. It is that once you become more valuable as a symbol than as a human being, your well-being can become negotiable. That idea applies far beyond celebrities. We see it with YouTube couples, influencer duos, athlete pairings, and rapper-model relationships. They build empires around a perfect image. When problems arise, the fallout becomes content. Breakups turn into episodes. Private pain becomes trending topics. Allegations drive engagement. And often, there is someone who appears calm and strategic in the background, the person managing calls, contracts, and public responses. That dynamic feels familiar to many viewers because they have experienced something similar in their own lives. The Remy Ma angle touches another sensitive point: the fear of aging out of visibility. Many women invest years in relationships and public images, only to feel sidelined when they no longer fit a certain marketing narrative. Watching a new couple step into a similar aesthetic can feel like erasure. Over time, people forget the early chapters and remember only the latest version. This situation is still unfolding. There are no confirmed facts proving Jaguar's claims. There are only allegations, opinions, and interpretations. Yet the discussion has grown because it raises larger questions. How often are relationships shaped by branding strategies? When loyalty becomes part of a marketing campaign, is it still personal? When the cameras shut off and the sponsorships fade, who remains? Some defend Papoose as a devoted partner who simply moved forward. Others question whether the handler label points to a pattern. Claressa Shields stands at the center of it all, a world-class athlete who has fought hard for her achievements. Whether she is fully in control of her narrative is something only she can truly answer. For now, the internet sits in the messy middle. Old clips resurface. Live-stream comments circulate. People debate whether Jaguar is exposing something systemic or projecting her own frustrations. The truth may be more complex than either side admits. The larger lesson may be this: when love becomes a brand, it becomes vulnerable to strategy. Silence can shape perception as much as speech. And narratives often shift in ways that benefit those who control the spotlight. Whether this story confirms those fears or not, it has forced people to look more closely at how public relationships are built, protected, and sometimes repackaged.